Welcome, everyone. So, the northeast monsoon is just around the corner, but the big question is, how is it going to arrive? Today, we're going to break down a pretty fascinating long-range forecast that shows this chain of weather events, kind of like dominoes, all lining up to build towards one powerful conclusion. Let's dive in and see how the stage is being set.
Okay, so if you take away just one thing today, make it this. The forecast models are all pointing to what they're calling a grand onset for the monsoon. But what does that actually mean when it comes to the weather you'll see outside? Well, let's unpack exactly what that prediction involves.
To get the full picture, we're going to follow a pretty clear path. First up, we'll look at the atmospheric players on the field right now. Then we'll track their journey week by week as they build up to the main event. We'll also zoom in on the immediate 24-hour forecast and then wrap up with the key announcements you really need to know. So, to really understand what's coming, we have to start with what's happening right now. There are three major weather systems in play, and believe me, their interaction is the key to absolutely everything. Think of them like three giant gears, all turning at once and influencing each other. First up, player number one. We've got a low-pressure area that's bubbled up off the coasts of Odisha and West Bengal. Now, the forecast shows this system is just getting started. It's set to gather a lot of strength over the next 24 hours and beef up into a depression. This is our first major player on the board. At the very same time, way over on the other side of the country, we have a powerful high-pressure zone that's just parked over Gujarat. This thing is pushing a lot of dry air down, and it's actually what's responsible for officially ending the southwest monsoon in parts of north and central India. And finally, we have our third, and honestly, most powerful player. A massive Category 5 typhoon just churning away out in the South China Sea. Now, you might be thinking, a storm that far away? Why should we care? Well, its influence is reaching a lot further than you'd think.
And this is where it gets really fascinating. These systems are basically locked in this huge atmospheric tug-of-war. That typhoon is so powerful, it's literally acting like a vacuum, pulling moisture and energy towards it from all the way across the Bay of Bengal. This is basically starving our nearby low-pressure system, and it's slowing down its development. But, and this is the kicker, once that typhoon makes landfall, all that energy gets released. The dynamic completely flips, and our system near Odisha will suddenly be free to get a whole lot stronger, real fast.
Okay, so with our key players on the board, let's actually look at the timeline. How do we get from today's setup to a full-blown monsoon? Let's take a look at the week-by-week journey. This timeline is basically our roadmap, and you'll notice some pretty key phases. Yeah, we start with some rain, but then there's this really critical dry spell. That's followed by the most important moment of all, the wind shift, which sets the stage for the monsoon's big arrival and all the heavy rain that comes with it. So in the immediate future, that strengthening low-pressure system is going to drive above-average rain across the west coast, we're talking Kerala and Karnataka, and into central India. For Tamil Nadu, conditions are going to be closer to what's typical for this time of year, so near normal, maybe slightly above normal rainfall. Then, as we roll into October, things shift. A new circulation is expected to pop up and track right across the central states. And as it does that, it's going to pull moisture away from the south, which means most of Tamil Nadu is forecast to have a noticeably drier, below-average week of rain. Now, the second week of October is absolutely crucial. This is what's called the wind transition period. It's that moment when the entire wind pattern for the region just starts to reverse. The westerlies that we know from the southwest monsoon fade out, and the easterlies, the engine of the northeast monsoon, start to take hold. It's like a changing of the guard. By the middle of the month, that transition is pretty much complete. The easterly winds are now fully established over the area. And with them, we see the first real signs of the coming monsoon, with widespread above-normal rainfall forecast across most of Tamil Nadu. And you know, all of this is leading up to one critical window. The models are all starting to agree on October 18th to the 22nd for the official onset of the monsoon. But this forecast isn't just about when it's going to start, it's about how. And what's predicted? Well, it's something truly powerful. And this is it. This is the grand onset we've been talking about. This is not going to be a quiet, gentle start. The models are predicting a powerful trough. That's a big zone of low pressure will form near Sri Lanka, and it's expected to unleash potentially double the normal amount of rain right across the entire coastal belts. This is the main event. And you know, this momentum isn't expected to fade away quickly either. The forecast shows this really active pattern continuing right into early November, with strong, moisture-packed easterlies bringing the potential for very heavy rainfall, especially along that northern coast, including places like Chennai, Kanchipuram, and Pondicherry. Okay, so let's zoom in from that long-range view to what's happening on the ground right now, and over the next 24 hours as all these larger systems begin to take shape. This gives us a really great snapshot of where the rain is focused right now. You can see the western side of the peninsula is getting most of the action. Kerala and parts of Karnataka are set for widespread heavy spells of rain. Meanwhile, over in Tamil Nadu, it's a bit more scattered, but we're still expecting significant heavy rain in those western Ghats districts like the Nilgiris, and some moderate to heavy spells in some of the northern interior districts as well. All right, so we've covered a lot of ground. What are the key things you need to remember from all of this? Let's just boil it all down. Okay, here are the 4 big takeaways. Number 1, the current weather is all being driven by the interaction of those 3 major systems. Number 2, the northeast monsoon is expected to make its official start in that 3rd week of October. Number 3, it's predicted to be a grand onset with heavy and widespread rain right from the get-go. And finally, number 4, that heavy rain is likely to stick around well into early November, especially for coastal Tamil Nadu. Of course, when you look at that timeline, late October, early November, it lands squarely on a really important festival. And that brings up the one practical question that's probably on everyone's mind. Yup, the final prediction from this whole analysis points towards a wet Diwali. With the monsoon expected to be in full swing by then, the celebrations will likely be accompanied by rain. But honestly, with a grand onset this powerful on the horizon, the bigger question isn't just about the festival. It's whether the region is truly prepared for the intense season that's about to begin.